Hello, this is Ivanova Smith. I'm an athlete leader from Best Olympics Washington, and I just wanted to talk about tokenism, which is the idea of, you invite a person from a diverse background into a meeting or a team, but you don't really let them participate, and they just sit there and you treat them as a decoration. Like, we're just showing this person off to show that we're diverse, but you don't really let them have a voice in what goes on in the organization or the meeting or team. And how that could happen in Special Olympics. It's not intentional. A lot of the times it isn't intentional. It's just, people don't understand, and, they hear, there's a lot of misperceptions about intellectual disabilities, and that's what causes a lot of this confusion. And I just wanted to share, some things that could help and something that doesn't help. So, one way an athlete could get tokenized is, they go to the event and they're not really taken seriously. Like, their competition isn't really taken seriously, and people pat them on the head or say, "Oh, and kind of they don't see them as an adult. They don't see them as you kind of see them as a child. Like, they speak very condescendingly, or they don't allow the person to do things. If the person wants to do things differently, they don't really allow them to do it. They kind of parent them. Like, I've seen people do that to Special Olympic athletes, and, I've seen coaches do it, and it's really unpleasant. And a lot of us athletes, we want our competitions to be taken seriously. We want to be taught what the professional basketball players are learning. We want to learn the expert techniques of the sports, and we take our sports competitions really seriously. And to us, this is a passion. This is something we love to do. It's not just playtime for us. Like, we don't see this as playtime. This is something we enjoy and we love, and it builds our community. But sometimes, I will, as a 27-year-old adult that's married, has a bachelor's degree, and trying to, it just feels really awkward when I hear people call us kids, or they say, "Oh, I love working with Special Olympics. It's so great working with those kids." And it's like, hold on, we're not all kids, because the majority of Special Olympic athletes are actually adults. And there is a small minority. There is a minority of youth, which is awesome, and all power to them. But we're not all youth, and we're not all children. So, we want to be respected in that, and that all rights are respected. And another aspect of this is not being allowed to be part of the decisions a team makes. So it's like, let's say a coach is making a big decision for a team, and they don't allow the input of the athlete. They only invite the caregivers or the other assistant coaches to a meeting, but they don't have any athlete input. That would be, kind of taking autonomy out of the picture. And, the Special Olympics goals and passion is that all athletes get representation and get a say in what happens for the team, gets a say in what happens for the organization, because it's run for us. It's based on what we're doing as athletes, and we should have an input on what is going on in our organization, because we want to help it. We love Special Olympics, and so many athletes would love to do leadership and be a voice for how this organization is run and how we do things. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind, that you always respect what an athlete says and what they want, but you don't go off of what the non-athletes want. You always, it's an athlete in the room. What do they say about this change, and just respecting that. And that would be the best way to not tokenize, is making sure the athlete has a say in the decisions and what's going on. And that's just a really important thing of trying to not tokenize, because when you tokenize, you may have an athlete in the room, but you don't let them have a say. You don't let them have a stake in the conversation. And that's what we don't want. We want to be able to athletes have a voice, and athletes can speak on things they want and don't want, and that our participation is respected, and we are valuable, and that our input is respected, because it's trying to make the organization run by athletes as much as possible. It's like working on trying to find ways to make it more accessible for athletes to do the other positions in Special Olympics, like being a coach or being an official, or being working for Special Olympics, being an employee of Special Olympics. Like, these are all things to keep in mind, and how we want to make sure that all athletes get input and a voice. So that's what I just wanted to talk about today, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you, and have a great day.